What up, YouTube? It's your boy NBM back again with another one. And today I'm gonna give you guys tips on how to get a better mix. And here's how. The very first step is the beat process. Mix down properly can get you some good results. I believe in mixing stems down. You can play around with it while you're mixing vocals to get that good thump that you're looking for. You can't put vocals on top of a trash beat, man. Make sure you hit that subscription button. Also smash that like button. Hit that bell notification that'll keep you guys in tune with the latest content I drop. But before we dive into this video, you know what I gotta do, man. I gotta roll that intro first. Let's get it. All right, so we're gonna tap into it. Let's get down with it. So my first step is we're gonna start mixing the kick and the 808. So make sure your session is up and go to your master channel because you definitely want to drop Ozone in there. Now, if you ain't got Ozone, go get it. Like I said, just a good plug-in to get started with. And by turning on the true peak, it helps you to push the beat a lot louder than what you normally hear. Let's see. And remember I told you about mixing in mono, so majority of the beat, we're going to mix in mono. So like I said, I always mix in mono, so I'll definitely hit mono on. Let's close that out. Start with the kick. Now, everything I got on the kick is from Fab Filter as my EQ. I'm trying to have the plugins loaded already so we can kind of speed these tutorials up. And I got Fab Filter on. I got the glue compressor. And the reason why I use the glue compressor, and this is on a kick, I use it because let's take all this off first. Hold on. And then I use the glue compressor because it has a soft clip, and a soft clip allows me to push the beat, to push the kick a lot louder, like I said, than what you normally hear without it clipping in the song, in a beat. So you can actually go to the master and see that it won't be clipping. But first, before we even get into all this, let's play the track first. I'll let you guys hear the beat real quick. It's gonna be pretty loud right now because I turned everything off. I just turned it off so you guys can get a feel of what the mix will sound like after we're done, you know, getting everything together. Check it out. Check it out. Now you can see everything pretty loud, man. So let's get into the mixing process. We want to get through this. Because mixing a beat is pretty simple. It's not hard. And I like to mix my beats in Ableton because Ableton have soft clips. They got a lot more plugins. They got a lot of more plugins that I can use to really get my beat to sound better. Just like, you know, when I'm mixing a track inside of Fruity Loops has plugins that I can use to make my beat knock a lot harder. But Ableton is like the best for this right now for me. So if you're on Logic, anything like that, start consider mixing your tracks in Ableton, man. It'll sound a lot better. Trust me. So we're gonna start off with the kick. Let's go right here. Let's just get a loop going. Where's the hook? Okay, yeah, this is the hook. So we'll do it like this. Let's loop it. And as you can see, like, to me, the kick ain't really hitting hard enough for me. So let's turn on the Fab Filter. And what I did with the Fab Filter, all I did was I took a low cut, I turned it to 24 hertz, and I rolled, I rolled off about 24 hertz. That's about it. I left it at like 12 dB, but you can put it at 24 if you want. But I like to leave it around 12, 18, put it right there so I don't cut the beat too much. And then I'll play it back without it, and then I'll play it with it. Okay, that's with it, this without it. Like you're not gonna hear a big difference, you know what I mean? But it's just to roll off a little bit, you know, to kind of clean the beat up a little bit. And then the next thing I like to use is the glue compressor. So what I like to do is I like to turn the tack all the way off to 0.1, and then I like to turn on soft clip. Now, like I said, soft clip allows you to push your kick a lot louder. So I like to start my kick off around -12. So let's play it with the glue compressor on. And the only thing you're gonna mess with is the attack. You're gonna turn the attack down to 0 and then start pushing the threshold and turn on the soft clip. Now, if you got a soft clip inside of Logic or something like that, because I've yet to find a plug-in. I found one, but I didn't like it. But like I said, Ableton Live allows you to have a soft clip. So this is the reason why Timberland uses this to mix his beats, and I was wondering why. So let's play it with the glue compressor. So as you can see, without it on, the kick just sounds boring. There's nothing there. It's dry. But once you turn the glue compressor on, it's beating. Like I said, soft clip allows you to do that. And then as you pay attention to the meter, you'll see it's -12 dB on a meter, on a master meter. Check it out. Now I can push that kick a little louder than that, but I'll come back to that as I'm mixing the rest of the beat. And then when I start mixing the vocals and I feel like the kick needs to be up a little bit more, I'll turn it up a little bit more. Let's close Fat Filter out. And then we got the glue compressor. And then what I do is with the kick, I like to put it in mono. So my kick is shooting straight up the middle. And how I know my kick is shooting up the middle, what I'll do is I go to Ozone, add a imager. And I want to make sure that this is going up. So I'll take it off of mono real quick. So you know your kick is in mono. And then let's close that out. Now we're going to head over to the 808. Let's turn the 808 on. Now with my 808, I don't really add nothing on the actual 808 itself unless I'm using a glide. So I'll turn the pitch bend up to 24 plus 24. But then with this, I like to add a saturator. The saturator gives it more of a better tone as far as like a little more distortion. So you can turn the drive up a little bit. And then with this also, you got a soft clip on this. So you can push your 808 a lot louder too without it clipping on your master channel. So that allows you to, you know, extend the sound of your beat a lot more. So right now I got mine at 5. Let's turn it down. And then you'll see what I'm talking about. And then I'll play it with the saturator on and off so you can get the feel of how it's changing the 808 itself, how it added more clarity to the 808. Check it out. And you can see that the saturator gives it more clarity. It adds a little more drive to it, and it adds a little more distortion to it. So, like I said, soft clip is pretty dope because you can push it. Now I'm gonna head over to we're gonna add a Fab Filter plugin. You know, you can use any EQ. You can use any EQ, but what I like to do with the 808, I like to do the same thing, roll off 24 hertz. Then at 65, I like to do -6 dB or -12 dB and split it down 65 to clean the 808 a little bit so that the bass sound a lot better when it's hitting. A lot of people don't really, you know, do this, but I do. And my beats, they bang in the car, and you can put them on your BeatStars or whatever you sell your beats on. I guarantee you, like, people will start buying your beats more when your sound of quality sound better. So I split it down the end, and then I like to clean the end of the 808 up a little bit. It depends. Some of these 808s will have a little drag to it. So you can do a high pass, roll it off a little bit until you like it, till you like it. But then sometimes you don't have to do it because some of the 808s are already mixed and they sound good. Let's close that out. And then with the same thing with the 808, I like to add a mono. Some people say use bass mono, but I like to use mono. It sounds better to me. That's my personal opinion. Let's play it. Now, what I like to do is I like to sidechain my 808 to my kick so that my kick is hitting above the 808 and it's not bleeding. It's not bleeding through. Like it's not mushed together and giving you this muddy sound, this muddy mix. So in Ableton Live, you just go to the compressor, which would be in the audio effects. Go to the compressor, drag it in. You know what I mean? So if you're Ableton Live user, do this. Same thing with Logic. Logic has a side chain, but it's a different process with Logic. But like I said, man, this is, even if you haven't used Ableton Live, just follow this tutorial through. Drag your beat in here, man. I promise you, you will not go wrong. I'm not going to steer you wrong. So let's turn this on. And then first thing you're going to do, yours going to be like this. You want to click on sidechain and then audio from. It'll be from the kick. You want to use the kick. This is where you're going to sidechain the kick and the bass. You're going to sidechain the kick. And then from there, you're going to have your attack and your release. I like to turn my attack all the way down. I'll bring the threshold up so you guys see what I'm saying, and I'll dial it in. Now, as you can see, that you can hit a kick and you can hit 808, but you can hit a kick a lot better. It's not fighting with the 808. But go back to your kick. Now, with me, I wanted to add a little more spark to my kick. So in Waves, I use a plugin called Torque, which is a dope plugin. It changes the character. It changes the character in your kick. So I'll open it up. Now with Torque, I like to usually do -100, and I like to turn the threshold up to around -36. That'll fix your kick a little more. So you click, I'm gonna turn that on, and I'm gonna play it with it on, and I'm gonna play it with it off. Torque is a damn good plugin for your kicks. One thing I forgot to tell you to do, though, is make sure you go to your masters and use a phase meter. Make sure you got a phase meter. My bad. Use a phase meter, and I use my phase meter is out of Waves, which, you can check your RMS. So turn your RMS down and make sure your track isn't, it's not clipping. So let me play it real quick so I can show you what I'm talking about. So as you can see, using those soft clips it gives me more room. My clipping is at -5.9 and my RMA is at -14.8. I got so much room to play with this track now. I got more room to play with all the other instruments that's about to come into the song. That's about to play its part. So let me take you back. Like I said, we're going now, not to be rushing, but Torque is the way to go if your kick is not hitting hard enough for you. And in order to do that, what I do is, let's mute this and then play the kick. And you just want to listen to where the top of the peak where the kick is hitting at, and you can do it this way. I found mine to be 138 and 138 hertz. So yeah, use Torque, man, a good plugin. Like I said, we sidechain the 808 to the kick to make sure that's pumping together. Now we're gonna move on to the next instrument, which will be the snare. So with the snare, you don't have to add much. Add an EQ to the snare. Now when it comes to mixing beats, everything tends to sit between 0 to 100 hertz. So you don't want nothing to bleed with the kick and the 808. You want to roll all that off. You want to roll all that off in the low end, so nothing is sitting with the 808 and the kick. You want to make sure that that's a clean area, that is playing by itself. So with the snare, if you pay attention to the snare, you'll see when I play it. So what you want to do is, all you want to do is make a low cut in the low end area, take it to 48, take the frequency to 100, clean that up. Now with the EQ, you want to take it to 5,000, boost the highs in 5,000 area, just boost the highs here to your liking, play it. Now, once we start getting the beat in, you're going to start noticing the process of why I'm mixing mono. So once we start adding the instruments in, we start adding strings in or whatever else is on a beat, then we're going to start listening to the mono. We're going to play it in stereo, we're going to listen, and we're going to listen to what is too loud or what's too low. And we mainly want to listen out for what is too low, because that's where our phase issues kick in. That is some of the instruments may be too low. So let's close this out. And then same thing with the snare, I like to put it in mono. So from my kick to my snare, my hi-hat, maybe my open hats, I like to put in mono. Those instruments I always put in mono. So remember that. Make sure your snare is in mono, your kick is in mono, your 808 is in mono, and your hi-hat's in mono, your open hats is in mono. Those instruments are in mono. Now, on to the next, which would be the hi-hats. Actually, before we do that, add a little reverb to your kick. Don't add too much reverb to your kick, your hi-hats and stuff, because your verses are going to have reverb, and you don't want the reverb to be fighting with the instrument reverbs and everything start clashing. So try not to add too much reverb to your instruments. You want to get a good clean sound. You don't want stuff to sound muddy. So remember, when you're mixing your beats, try not to add too much. When you're mixing your instruments, try not to add too much reverb to it. The next one will be the hi-hats. So to fill my hi-hat, what I like to do is I like to pan it to the left about about 20 on that. Let's see. Yeah, take it over a little bit. That's about 20. That'll make it sound full, make the hi-hat sound full. And even now with the hi-hat and the snare. Remember, the hi-hat and the snare, all of these, you want to roll off 100. You want to roll off 100 on the EQ. As you can see, you're going to do the same thing with the snare. You're going to roll off 100 on the snare, as far as the low cut go. And then you're gonna raise the high. You're gonna raise the high pass up a little bit to about +6, depending on what you like. Just listen out for it. Make sure you don't turn it up too much, because you don't want to bleed your ears out. Now, play it. You can definitely hear the difference between mono and stereo. And once you finish mixing the mono, I swear you're gonna be like, wow, this sounds so clean, because you were able to balance out the instruments. Now we're gonna go over to the open hi-hat, do the same thing here. We're gonna look at that, and let's add the utility to it. Ableton has a utility plug-in which allows you to put your instruments in mono, so make sure you use the utility plug-ins. Like I said, they got a lot of plugins to execute what you need to do. Okay, and then like I said, add a little reverb, a little bit of delay to this one. And if your music is at 134, remember your delay is gonna be at 134 BPM. You're gonna do a half note. You're not gonna do a quarter note. You're gonna do a half note. So that way you get that. Tss, tss, you see what I'm saying? All right. So let's go back to the open hat. Let's start adding a little reverb. Cool. So you get the delay on the open hats, which is cool. And now with your cymbal, you want to do the same thing with your cymbal, same thing with your open hi hat. You're gonna roll off 100, boost the high end, boost the highs up a little bit, give it a little clarity. So as you can see, with these instruments, you're only using a mono plug-in, which some DAWs you don't have to use a mono plug-in, and you're only using an EQ, and you're using two parts of the EQ. You're using a low cut to sweep some of the hertz off in between the low end part, far as the kick and the bass go, and you're just boosting the highs to get a little clarity in the sound. That's it. Same thing you're gonna do with the cymbal. You're gonna do the same thing with the cymbal. Same thing with the cymbal. Same thing. It's the same thing. I'll play it. Really listen. Because in mono, you can listen to where you want to hurry up and put that sound, bam, and you move on to the next one. So now we got the chants. We got the chant. Now with the chant, you're gonna do the same thing here. You're gonna add that. You're gonna add the EQ, which will be the same thing, the same frequency, the same frequencies. You're just gonna sweep. You're gonna sweep, and you're gonna mop. And when I say mop, you're gonna boost them highs up a little bit to give that sound clarity. So when you start listening to the beat in stereo, you can hear the highs sound good in the song and the lows sound good. So and so on and so on. And then let's see. With this, I'm just gonna add a little delay. And as you can see, we had negative 14.1. We went from negative 5.9 to negative 5.0. So we still got a whole lot of room in this beat to push this mix. And then if you want to sell your beat, at the end, I'm going to show you how to master it a little bit to bounce it down, and you can go sell your beat, and your beat will sell a little faster, because people like to, when you go listen to beats on BeatStars or anywhere you go, the first thing you're looking for is quality. You're like, okay, I want to see if this beat sound good. And if it sounds good, you know it's going to be an easy mix. Now, if the beat is just, the bass is too high, the snare is high, the hi-hats is not, it's like, this is going to be totally messed up. So now let's go from the chant to, we're actually about to dive into a sound now. So this is heat up. I like using heat up. So let's play it. I'm going to bring it down. Now with that instrument, I'm not going to use any reverb because it already has it from the actual sound itself. It doesn't need a delay. I don't want to put a delay on it. But what I am going to do is I'm going to open up Fab Filter. I'm going to go into the EQ. And now with this, I'm going to actually add like a kind of a telephone effect to this sound. I'm going to start changing the sound up. Start shaping your sounds. Like, don't just use an instrument and then let it just stay there and be the same. Shape your sound. Add some clarity to, add some difference to it. Like, so say for instance with Fat Filter, I'm gonna turn it off and then turn it on. So we got that going on. Now I'm about to shape the sound even better because I'm going to add this plugin called Cla Effects, which is in waves. So if you got waves, whatever you got, diamond, platinum, whatever you got, use the plugin Cla Effects. I'm going to open that up. And with this plugin, all I use is the drive and I use the chorus. That's all I use. And with the drive, I don't use much, about negative 1.8. You don't want to push it too much with the chorus. You want to bring it down some around negative 3.9. So I'm going to play it with it off and I'm going to play it with it on. And you can see that give it some hella spank. Like, it went from born to, man, this is banging, dog. Like, damn. So then let's move on from that. Now, we ain't gonna move on from that. Like, I like to use Matthew Lane Stereo Delta, man, which is a dope plug-in to turn it into stereo, sweet. But you're not gonna hear this until I turn it into stereo and take it off mono. But we're still gonna add it. Make sure you add that. Make sure you add this to your strings, your let's see, your not your bells, but your strings, your leads, your pads. Add this. It's gonna add some bang to your beat. So check it out. Like I said, you're not gonna hear it until it's in stereo, but when you hear it, you're gonna be like, wow. Make sure you add that. Don't play with that, man. That is the lick. Now we're gonna go to another instrument, which is my lead. We're gonna cut that on. We're gonna go to lead. Let's turn that down some because I know it's loud. And with the lead, I don't add nothing special to it. I do the same thing with this. I may turn it into a small telephone effect to give it a little filter, give it a little sound. Same thing, I pushed around 85 on this one. It wasn't that much on the low end to cut off. I boosted in the middle about, I boosted around 1410 hertz. I added like plus 14, as you can see. And I didn't really roll off that much on the high pass. So check it out. So mixing in mono is when you get to this part, when you get to these sounds, you want to balance these sounds. You want to actually blend them in real nice. And the object is to hear those sounds. You want to hear them. So in mono, you need to be able to hear these instruments. Once you hear these instruments over the other instruments, that instrument is good where it's at. Don't mess with it no more. Now, remember, I said that the kick can be turned up a little bit, you know. So if we go to the pass meter, we reset that. Let's play it back real quick. Now you don't necessarily have to add so much 808, and you know what I mean. You want it nice and subtle with the kick, because when you get to the mastering part and you start boosting those levels, as you can see on the last video I did with the mastering, that's gonna really help you a lot, because it's gonna boost those. It's gonna boost those. It's gonna boost that low end a little more when you turn it to 65. Push it up a little bit. That's gonna add a little more 808, and it's gonna sound a little more thicker. And you ain't gotta do too much, man. You know what I'm saying? Quick and easy mix on it. Like remember what I said. Turn the true peak on here and turn the true peak on in your master. So on your actual mastering the song you're gonna master. And let's see. I think I done touched bases with everything on here, man. Like let's play it back again. Was it in stereo? I don't remember. Yeah, we're in stereo. So let's go to the beginning of the track. Man, that's how you mix your beat, man. It's that simple and easy, man. You know, there may be other instruments. It depends on the actual person who made your beat. You know what I mean? Some people send you stems with them all with plugins already on them, and they be all messed up. So whoever you get your stems from, tell them you want your stems dry. You don't want it with any plug-in on it. You don't want nothing on the master bus. You want everything completely dry, so you have total control of your mix. Yeah, don't let them put their mark on it. Put your own mark on it. That way, you know how you want your music to sound. Now, if you want to master your song and you want to bounce it down and start selling your beats or whatever, and you want your beats to stand out over others, you know, you want to compete with other people's beats to where your vocal, your sound is just as loud as theirs, you're gonna leave it at true peak. You're gonna turn it to IRC, modern. You're gonna put it to character to 1.05, and then from here we're gonna start turning. We're gonna start. We want this to be around. I like -8 dB when it's as far as the beat, you know, give them. And that's another thing. It's like I want to be able to buy a beat to where all I have to do in my mix is do a little bit of gain staging, which is turning down the track a little bit and getting it to around -12 dB to where I want to rap on it, and then I can actually boost everything again from there. So let's start off by mastering the beat now and getting ready to bounce it down. And come on, man, you can't say I don't get down, man. I got my beat to hit directly on -8 dB, directly on it. Not -7.9, 6.5, right on 8.0. Stop playing with me, man. Yeah, but that's what you do. This is how you master your beat, to bounce it down, to sell it. And I'm pretty sure you guys know how to export your track. You know, like what I do is render track as a master. Like I said, it's different on Logic and Pro Tools and every other DAW is different. I leave everything off here. Sample rate is at 44, 100. Encode is on wave. Man, simple stuff. And then export. Name your track, put your track up on BeatStars, promote your shit real heavy, and let people hear it. And man, that's how you mix your stems. This is how you prepare for a proper mix to get going. This is how you prepare to get ready to get some good vocals going. And I'm gonna show y'all how to record the dope in-home vocals in your room, in your house vocal to where it can sit right on these beats. So that way you be cool. No matter what DAW you got. Right now, I'm rocking with the Zen Ghost Energy Core. Man, dope ass interface. And I'm not promoting this company, but I really believe it's a good interface for when it come down to mixing. It sounds really good. It help you with your mix. Man, hey, it's your boy MBM. Man, I'm rocking with y'all, bro. Appreciate y'all for stopping in. Yo, and make sure y'all pick up some of these MBM hats at the Stream Element store. The link will be in the bio. The first 3 people cop these hats, man. Just send me your session in the link. Send me your session in the email, man, and I'm gonna hook y'all up, man. Like, that's bigger than ever. So check out the merch. It's in the bio. Y'all go ahead and cop something, man. Show some support to the channel, and let me know y'all rocking with me.